Hey, everybody, and welcome to Simply Cards by Kathy. This is take 3. I'm going to apologize. It is Monday, July 15th. Right now, I'm not even sure what day it is. This is the third attempt at doing this video. When I signed into StreamYard this evening, it said, please, thank you for your patience as we work through our video and music difficulties. And I did not think that meant recording video. So obviously, I went through and made an entire card talking to all of you that were with me, and the video didn't record and you didn't see it because the video did not go into record mode. So once I realized that, I recut as much as I can. I really want to show you this card. I apologize for any inconvenience. And I hope you'll hang with me. If you're with me, let me know that you're seeing this and hearing it. And if you're catching it on the replay, then we know it did record. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you'll like what you'll see and hit that subscribe button. And if you're with me live or on the replay, thank you so much for your support and helping me grow my channel. So we are going to... Hi, Rebecca, and thank you for hopping on. So we're going to do take 3 on this video and make this card. And by the time we're done, I now have 3 cards of this. So I'll show you everything I have. So today I am using the Charming Duck Pond bundle. I love this bundle. I love the whimsical ducks. Hi, Renee. Thanks for coming back. And I love the dies. You have some really detailed die cuts, which I really love. And then you have die cuts that you can use with this, the stamps that cut out your stamped images. So this is them. I am going to show you a trick with these. I am using the Lily Pond Lane Designer Series paper, and it's really beautiful paper. Love the colors. I love the whimsy of it. And you have a lot of these images that some get die cut with these dies, which I'll show you in just a second, and others are fussy cut. One of the ones I'm going to use today, I did fussy cut, and I am not a great fussy cutter, and it was really easy to do. But just I wanted to flip through and show you these papers. So really fun cards that you can make. Now, for the card I'm making today, I used 3 different patterns from this paper. And one of the patterns were these little ducks. Now, these dies will cut out some of these ducks. Like this die cuts out this little guy. And this die over here will cut out this one. So you also have a die that will cut out the cat o' nine tails. So I took advantage of these die cuts today, and that's what I'll be using. I love this sweet too, Renee. So let's get these off to the side, and we are going to get started for the 3rd time. All right, I am starting off with a piece of Granny Apple Green. Now I'm going to bring in my trimmer, and we are going to cut this at 4 1/4 by 11. So we are going to cut this here. All right. Now I want to cut this down to 5 inches or 1 inch. I want to cut it so it's a total of 10 inches. Ay, ay, ay. So let's cut this down 1 inch. And then we're going to score it at 5 1/2. Now I know what you're probably thinking. Kathy, 5 1/2 is not in the middle of 10 inches. And you are correct. It is not. Let's get this out of the way, but we're going to score it at 5 1/2. And now we are going to cut 2 1/2 inches off the 4 1/2 inch side. Now we have a 10-inch card scored at 5 1/2. So that leaves this section 4 1/2 inches. So we're going to take 2 1/2 inches off this side of the card. And you're going to save that piece that you cut off because we are going to use it. So we're going to set that off. Now, while I have the trimmer here, we also need to cut a piece that's 3 1/4 by 10. So let's do that. So let's cut a 3 1/4 inch by 10. And normally I have this all done for you before we get on, but since we're doing this a couple times today, I guess we're going to do it step by step. All right, now this piece is going to get scored at 5. Now I am going to post a PDF tutorial for you. It will be up by 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. And the link will be in my YouTube video description, or you can just head on over to my website, Simply Cards by Kathi, and look for the post dated July 16th. Now, this is your card base. This is made up of 2 cards, one large card base, one small card base. So this we're going to fold on our fold line, and we're going to give it a good burnishing because with 2 cards or card bases, you want it to lay as flat as possible. Now, for this top portion, which is 2 inches by 4 1/4, I do have a piece of the designer series paper that measures 1 7/8 by 4 1/8. And I'm going to go ahead and today I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus, which is pretty rare that I do, but we're going to try it. All right. So because I don't do anything straight, I do tend to turn my stuff to the side so I can see from all angles, and just go ahead and lay that down. I'm going to pull that up just a little bit. There we go. So that's our front fold. Now, remember that piece that we cut off. This is going to be our front flap. And I have some tips and tricks on attaching this flap for us. So with this, I have cut a piece of basic white, and I embossed it using the So Swirly embossing folder. And the reason I used that folder was it reminded me of like waves in a pond. And I thought with the ducks, that would add to the front of the card. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to this Granny Apple Green. And normally on embossed areas, I do use glue, but I'm going to live dangerously today and going to use my my Stampin' Seal. All right, so we're going to adhere this to here. And again, these are all 1/8 inches. Now, if you are one of the people that hate 1/8 inches, and that's okay, cut these by 1/4 inches. It will work just as well. Okay, so this is where our flap is going to be. But I want to decorate the front of this. So to do that, I had cut out one of these cat o' nine tails, and I fussy cut this little mama duck and her 3 ducklings. And we're going to go ahead and add this to the front of our card. Now I'm going to pop these up with Stampin' Dimensionals, and I do want to give you a tip that I'll on the card I made that you didn't get to see because it didn't record. I had cut an extra one of these with the die out of just basic white. And I adhered this to that die cut. It just gave it a little bit more stability. That's not to say it's not stable with just the designer series paper, but I just thought it would add a little bit more. But at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and adhere these with some dimensionals. So I hope you all had a great weekend and had some time for yourself for whatever it was you enjoy doing, whether it's stamping or outdoors, and that you have had some fun. I know Renee said they just had heavy thunderstorms this afternoon and their temperatures cooled off a little. We have been supposed to have thunderstorms for the last 24 hours, and for some reason it keeps passing us by. So we're hoping for tonight. So I'm going to take my flap here and I'm going to adhere this right at the bottom because I don't want my cat o' nine tails to look like they're, hanging in midair. Now with my mama duck, I'm going to put her right here. So I'm going to add a few more dimensionals to her. And I just think this is such a great suite. Cattails, you're right. Okay. I don't know why I'm saying cat o' nine tails, but didn't know cat o' nine tails was a whip. So thank you. You just taught me something, Renee. So there's my dimensionals. Now I want to take a glue dot and add just at the end of my duck by the tail because it's going to rest on the cattails. Did I say that right? I hope so. So let's see here. All right. And let's take this one last one off and we're going to adhere this to the front. And then I have a tip to show you. So here's our mama duck and the ducklings. Now for the greeting, let's see here. I had cut everything. And it should show up. But we are going to adhere this on here. Now, before I even do that, I have cut another piece of designer series paper that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and it's going to go right inside the inside of this large card base. So let's adhere that first. All right. And again, just a real small edge all the way around. All right. Now, this is going to adhere here. And you want to make sure that it's even as it can be in the middle of your card base with maybe a 1/2 to 2/3 of an inch, whatever you want, right up at the top. And that looks pretty good. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pencil and very lightly mark right where that's going to fit. Now, the other thing I want to show you is one of the things I think at times we all struggle with is that when we have to adhere something, it's like, where do I put the glue that I don't go too far down and get it to the inside of my card or to whatever layer you don't want it to adhere to? I'm using a sticky note and I'm putting it right to the end of that flap right there. And now when I pick this up, I can see to go above that sticky note for putting all of my adhesive on. So we're going to go ahead and add our adhesive right above that flap. And now I can come back to where my little hash mark was, and I'm going to take my sticky note right up to the top or the edge of that flap. It's all lined up between the two hashtags. Give it a good press. Take your sticky note off, and there you go. You have your flap on. All right, next, we want to do our sentiment. So I am going to grab a little piece of basic white here, and I'm going to mat this on, hopefully I am, Pretty Peacock. So let's see if this is going to fit. It's going to fit. All right, so we're going to stamp happy birthday here. And I am using the Happy Birthday that is actually in the Charming Duck Pond bundle. And we're just going to stamp here. All right, and I'm going to trim it down. So let's see, right here. All right, so I'm going to grab my scissors and we're just going to trim it right to about here. All right, and let's see where we are here, because we can always trim down our pretty peacock too. So let's adhere this. Oh, look at that. I already did it. So we have it adhered. So let's go ahead and put that on. That not taping kind of threw me for a loop and trying to get everything recut to come back on. I did it in such a hurry. I guess I forgot I did that. So let's put this on, and then we're going to do our second card. All right. So this I'm going to put on right here. Now I do have a second card to show you when we're done. You'll see 3 of these, but one that I used the Sophisticated Sled Bundle and did a Christmas card. So I'm anxious to show you that. Now here's our second card base. Now remember, this was 3 1/4 by 10, scored at 5. So we're going to go ahead and fold it, and I'm going to burnish it. Okay, now for the front of this card, I am using a piece of designer series paper. Now, this is 3 1/4 by 5. So this is 3 1/8 by 4 7/8. And I just love this Mama and Daddy Duck. Now, to do this front of this card, you could do anything. You can use designer series paper. You could use a piece of basic white. And I've already done that, stamp some images or attach some die cuts. It's whatever you want to do. But I just thought this card went together really well using these pieces of designer series paper. Now I do want to stamp a greeting on here, or another little sentiment that says you are loved, and that's from the Unbounded Love stamp set. So I'm going to ink this up, and I think I'm going to stamp that right up here. Let's line this up so I'm straight. I'm just going to stamp this right here. Okay, and we're going to adhere this to the front of our small card. So, all right. Now for the inside, let's get this on first before I go on to the inside. There we go. All right, for the inside, I'm going to add a piece of basic white. And again, this is the same size as this designer series paper. It's 3 1/8 by 4 7/8. And I'm going to add another sentiment to this. This sentiment says, may all your wishes come true. That is also from Unbounded Love. And why am I brave? Oh, Renee says she can't stamp anything straight. Well, Renee, that's why I line everything up, because I can't either. So I'm right there with you. So there we go. Now, you could add a little die cut. You could add a stamped image. I took a piece of that 3/8 inch piece off the top of that designer series paper and trimmed it 3/8 by 3 1/8 to put across the bottom here. So let's do that. And then I did a die cut. Oh, come on. There we go. I did a die cut of a baby duckling, and he's right here. So this is one of the dies in this bundle. And I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, and we're going to adhere him right in those grasses. I just thought he'd look cute down here. And then he's going on the inside of our card. So I am challenged to do just about anything straight. So that's why you'll see my stamps on the blocks before I come on live, because I line them up on my grid paper and mount them to the blocks ahead of time so that they are straight. All right, so there's that. Now, this is going to attach here. But before you attach it, you want it in the middle, but you want it in the middle of this front flap. So before adhering it down, check it to make sure it's where you want it. We're going to also line it up at the top of this designer series paper. So let's go ahead and add, I'm going to use multi-purpose glue for this because it's going to stick really well. All right. I'm going to come back and I want to, oh, my paper slid here. All right, let's see. Before I adhere it, you want to make sure it's pretty even. And I'm going to have to come back and fix that paper because it slid. But then just give it a good press. Make sure your edges are even at the top, which they are. And then here's your card. So you can add some gems if you want to. Open it up. You can see mine is crooked. I will be able to get that off and adhere it a little better. It must have slipped, but let me show you the one I made when you weren't with me. So this is it. This cat tails were mounted on a piece of basic white die cut just like that. So here's our first double fold card. Now, my second card was made using the sophisticated sled bundle, and from there I used the skates. Now, here I used the Winter Meadow that carried over designer series paper. Now, while designing the card, you can see they're both different sizes, but they're the exact same style card. I was cutting this and I did not like this top that wide. So when I remade it, I cut it down, and this is what your measurements will be. But I thought the card turned out pretty using the skates and the snowfall embossing folder and that Winter Meadow paper, and that did carry over. So this is the second card. So let me bring you back to me. I hope you enjoyed today's cards. If you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up. Helps me grow my channel. Feel free to share the video. For those of you who came back to watch on the third round, thank you very much, Renee. I appreciate it. I hope you'll give it a try. If you do, I'd love for you to post it in my Facebook page, or if you're in my Facebook group. When you share your creativity, I truly believe it inspires others. So I hope you have a good evening, and I will be back with you on Thursday at 7 o'clock. Hopefully there'll be no glitches. Thanks, Maria, for joining us. Have a great week, everybody. I'll see you Thursday at 7 p.m.